I'm your host, Rob. Welcome to Stream Street Day. Welcome to Stream Street Day 172. Welcome to the show. Big shout out to everyone who's joined me live on Twitch. The Dreadwoods, Dave Frazier, Gitley, Owen, Winner Dave, MJ Pegasus, thanks for subscribing. Let's close down that audio spike. So hello everyone, welcome to the show. Today's show won't be overly long. I have lots to do for the show tonight. Genesis' very first, Super Series' first ever band show live tonight, which I'm excited and nervous about. I thought I'd talk about it a little bit here. Age of Sebmar, thanks for subscribing. Chris, what up? JP Stevens, here to steal list ideas if anyone wants to throw some out. List ideas? Ooh, what do you want to go for? Are you struggling with what you're playing, JP, or just want something new? Hey, Pete Pratt, Chris, Hawkeye, Bam Bam Bam. It's a very exciting day. Very exciting day. I know the teams later on are going to bring their A game. But I thought I'd just talk to you guys about it. I know I've been talking about it a lot, and I'm sorry. I know there's other stuff going off in the world. Like there was an event in Poland this weekend, for instance. 3 lists, unsurprisingly, did well. Seraphon, who are S tier, in my opinion, my show host's opinion. I spent a good 45 minutes trying to work out what someone will ban for Seraphon, and the answer is it doesn't matter what you ban. They're still an S tier army. That is my claim. Doesn't matter what you ban, they're still an S tier army. Very good. They obviously came first with the Fangs of Sotek list with Croak. 6 Pterodon Riders, which is a nice little mix-up, but not particularly interesting. Celestant Prime, there you go. And 80 Skinks. Second place, there was the Borg Art Regent, Flesh Eater Quartz Army with Blisterkin, and the Borg Art Regent, a Ghoul King and Royal Terrorgeist, and some Crypt Flayers, and it was all in Deadwatch. So that's fun. We saw the wonderful Steve Curtis playing something very similar to this at the LGT last year and he went 4-1, so very, very similar list. This is all in Poland, by the way. I think at a 26-person event. In third place was a really cool list. It was a Kabbalists Slaves to Darkness list. It obviously had Be'lakor in, Fate Weaver in there as well as an ally, which I think is a cool little mix-up. But unsurprisingly, 2 times 80 Marauders, 2 times 40 Marauders, equaling 80 Marauders there as well. And big shout out to those 9 Untamed Beasts in the list. Again, big proponent of them, as you guys know, for a very long time. I think I have switched it up. I think you get a little bit more utility from the Ungol Raiders for 10 points. Bit of a shooting attack if you're going to want to take scouting units. Also, big shout out to Gutter Runners. I don't know how I missed that. But Gutter Runners have got a pre-game move. How are we not talking about that? I hadn't thought about that. That's a big shout for Night Runners. Sorry, Night Runners. Thank you, Hawkeye, you legend. I know you've also been working a lot, Hawkeye, and I hope you're well. Always take a break if you can. Random move though, right? It says Age of Sigmar. Yeah, but it's like on average 7, and roughly it's 3. But really, when I want a scout move, let's talk about the scout move. So the scout move that you get from the Untamed Beast is 6 inches. The scout move that you get from these is 2d6, so it's random. I think it's 2d6. Yeah, I think it's 2d6, not just d6. And that's really important because I want that 3-inch gap, because what I'm really trying to do is neuter the eel charge. If I can roll really well, I also screen out the shooting, but I'm a big fan on just screening out the eel charge. It just stops that. Also Maw Crusher charges, I think, is a big one as well in some ways. Right. Okay. Big one there. Those Untamed Beasts, those Raiders, and the Night Runners. Thank you very much for talking about that. But Gutter Runners can ambush. Yeah. But it's the Night Runner pre-game move that I think is a big deal. And I would like to... I started putting some Skaven lists for myself. I had a bit of a... You know when you get... It's 1 a.m. and you're incredibly nervous about this project you've been working on for years. And then you think, yeah, I'll start looking at writing Skaven lists on War Scroll Builder. Instead of doing anything productive at all. Hawkeye, I wouldn't even put them in Eshin. I just put them in mixed Skaven. I think just that ability to just push out a little bit is really important. Friends tried out the Night Runner screen. Think he concluded it wasn't worth it. Interesting. I mean, you do have just that big brick, if you want, of clan rats that do the job. So, cool event over in Poland. Big shout out to those guys. Go check that out. I would try to name the event, but I can't. And I'm sorry. Mistrotskwa. Only time I'll try that. Apologies to my Polish brothers and sisters for not doing particularly well on that. Also, big news in Age of Sigmar, which is fun, is the GOAT elves are on the way. They are on the way, which is exciting for some people. Now, I know, and we had a bit of a conversation yesterday, it's pricey. I see some of you guys in the chat are talking about just how much money it is. So JP there saying he spent over 500 quid already on his Lumineth. They're beautiful models. They're absolutely beautiful models. And I can't question people wanting to get them. Stufflin, thanks for subscribing for 4 months, baby. Aren't Idneth the goat? No, Seraphon, the goat. Yeah, the mountain cows look expensive. And it's an expensive army. It's an elite army also, but, you know, at this point, it's looking pricey. It's looking pricey more and more. Cows, Rob. Oh. Yeah, they're cows, not goats. I'll remember that. I'm sorry. As a vegetarian, I obviously super care. There's someone who's listening to, that's enough of that guy. Put that in the bin. But yeah, Steerage is right. They can fuck off with their 280 Australian dollars for Techless. That isn't. I hope that isn't a sign of things to come. So 280 Australian dollars, and don't forget, it's not like a straight conversion rate because obviously there's a percentage markup in Australia anyway. So it's not just a flat whatever like the exchange rate is. If you convert Australian currency Australian prices for Games Workshop models, they cost more than if you bought it in English money. It's pretty gross. And a little bit unfair not a little bit unfair, very, very unfair. And the company posted millions. They don't need to keep price gouging, but different conversation. It is an elite hobby and it is an opt-in hobby, but I mean, that's wild stuff. The pricing, I think, but they're finally out and on the way. But the rule book is out. I'm really confused by people who are like, oh, we can finally talk about the rules. And I'm like, they've been out for months. Like, anyway. Oh, wait, the next wave of Lumineth Realm leak prices have been leaked and they are mad. Gitly, could you... Oh, Professor Mork, thank you very much for subscribing. Professor Mork, first time in the hoose. Also, thank you to everyone who does subscribe to the show, and thank you to everyone on the Honest Wargamer Patreon. A special thank you today to everyone on the Honest Wargamer Patreon, because of course this is, if it wasn't for you, you wouldn't have fed me to get me to the point where we could launch the Super Series. But also, you know, it's been thanks to you guys that we've been able to slowly upgrade our equipment over the past few years to finally be able to put into place everything that we're going to do this weekend. So a big shout out to you guys and a massive thank you. I haven't got my phone on me. £138 if you're in Australia for the tech list. Oh, Marcus Rock, thanks for subscribing. Big love to you. Let me go find out the prices then. We'll quickly have that conversation. Okay, so the Stone Guard are 36 quid each, and then the Stoneheart King is 70 quid. Wow, £70. Well, £68. £68 for the Stoneheart King. The Dawn Riders, 40 quid for 5 cavalry. £39.50. Jeez, £40. Like, I always thought Varangard were expensive. Like, 40 quid for 5 horses is nuts. Cries. Professor Mork, I'm sorry, buddy. Cry. Listen, at least either joining Patreon or subscribing here on Twitch, which you just did, thank you, is fair. That helps out. But I'm really sorry. So Dave Fraser says prices are irrelevant. You're either way over them and keep up with the hobby, or you can't afford to. It's fair to moan about them, but people keep buying the shit, so they'll be selling them at those prices. Dave, I agree with that completely. I also think, and I will actively encourage this, Obviously, the first thing you should always do is buy from your local gaming store. So there are local outlets all across the UK, and obviously in each one of your local countries. Obviously, buy from those guys, and independent stockists, never from Games Workshop directly. That's obviously the right decision. That's a way to bring down costs. And of course, like the Stone Mage. I mean, he's kind of cool, but can you not just do a Stone Mage yourself? Find a rock, stick an elf on it, Stone Mage. That saves you 30 quid. It's only things like Techless. I mean, will your friends just let you use old high elf models for the spearmen and the cavalry? I mean, does it make a difference? Like, if you're using them for gaming, I think that's the difference, right? If you're using them for gaming, whatever. Like, and if you're using them for painting, then you're okay with the price because you're going to take your time on it, right? Print your own. Don't go to Games Workshop. Says Trey Woods. I can't publicly endorse that. They are the big new spearmen. Yeah. The last box sets though, horses are a bargain. That's £1.50 per inch of movement. Hawkeye, thanks for the bits donation. Okay, I don't want to spend too much time on the prices because, yes, it seems like Games Workshop, after a price increase last time, are also upping their prices again. There are other people who've had this conversation. I think ultimately, if we're going to be smart about it, there are ways now to really reduce how much you spend on the hobby, which can be a positive. Ziggy, thanks for donating some subscriptions. Big shout out to Ziggy. Very much looking forward to seeing Ziggy tomorrow. He's going to come and help set up some of the stats for the Super Series, which is very fun. Tim, it's all relative. I used to waste hundreds plus a weekend on the piss, and that's an army a month. Obviously old now, so bills and adult responsibilities, etc. Yeah, and I agree, Tim. I agree. Like, you talk about like a AAA game now, or something like The Witcher or The Last of Us, which I happened to pay during lockdown, and I got like a phenomenal amount of fun out of that. But I've got models which I have built and painted, which I've had fun for years. So, I mean, and ultimately, it might cost, I don't know, let's say £600, £800 for a Lumineth Realm Lord's army. I mean, that is a lot of money, but they're a brand new armies. So, ignoring the meta imbalance of it, the build time, the paint time, and the application time, that's like a lot of hobby time, I think, which is their justification. But I still think that they pay, like, they're probably at this point charging 20, 30% too much for their products. Call me old-fashioned. And a communist. I'm not. More of a Trotsky guy. Anyway, that chat said they were hype train, couldn't miss out. Oh, thanks, Ziggy. Oh, man. Oh, thanks. Pour one out for my Japanese homies. They pay 170% on the conversion rate, and the FLG sell it at recommended retail price. Can I just say a huge shout out to my Japanese homies? That is rough. Rob, if you're not playing, can you come and watch the Super Series? JP, you can't, unfortunately. In the future, maybe when COVID allows. And obviously the Super Series was designed initially to be able to sit and watch, or come and watch and hang out. And the venue does have a little space and obviously a bar now. Big shout out to the Fish for building the bar and Nathan for plugging some power in, so that eventually when COVID and health and safety limitations allow, we're going to be able to do that. It would be awesome. Like, November's the final for the very first Super Series. I highly doubt that that'll be okay, but you will be able to in the future. And obviously that doesn't stop you doing watch parties at home. I know that some of the guys around the world are setting up little watch parties either at their house or their local gaming club. They're getting some beers in and they're going to try and make a day of it. We will try and make it as absolutely as entertaining as possible. I think the thing that I'm really nervous about at the minute is just getting it done. Like, and obviously we've made a big song and dance, and hopefully it works. And I just know without the practice, we're definitely going to be able to practice for Saturday. Not too certain about tonight. So a little bit nervous about how that's going to go. And again, in order to keep within restrictions and be sensible, I haven't brought in a co-commentator for the band phase, just because I'm trying to be really safe and comfortable. And then John is going to remote the show so that it's all safe again. And there's not someone, even though we could have someone in the tech booth, but we're just trying to be really sensible. So there's a lot of limitations around that, which is always nerve-wracking, because obviously I would like it to look right up there, but I know it's not going to. Well, I know it's going to look like that, but it probably won't run that smooth. And that's not me trying to like pour water on the fire. I hope you're all excited, and I'm excited. I'm just going to have some fun tonight. We're going to have some fun tonight, and we're going to try and make it a bit of a laugh. And this week might not be perfect. Next week will be a bit better. The week after will be better. The week after will be better. We'll get there, and it will be like the perfect show that I promise eventually. That's the aim. That's the aim. And I hope you all understand that. Like, and I know you do. I know you do. I know you're pretty sound about it. You can, hopefully you'll see the vision that it's planning on being. Soon it'll be cheaper for people from Australia to just buy a plane ticket, bring an empty suitcase, buy minis in the UK. Yeah, Queekster, you're right. In fact, and also one of my good friends, won't name them, was like, when you're coming over for CanCon, can you bring something? As the hobby Elon Musk, you're allowed to make mistakes when you're breaking boundaries. I don't want to be Elon Musk, but I appreciate that. Thank you. I bet B-Bone from Tabletop Tactics takes a case full of minis every time he goes home for holidays. I bet he does. Tim, everyone's excited. Good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad everyone's excited. Are you doing the usual AOS show as well tonight? Yes, Hawkeye. We will be. Thankfully, the two venues, so the one I'm in now and the venue, are only a 10-minute walk away from each other. So I should be able to wrap up there, get back here. Eventually, I'd like to transition that there, but all of that's got some really cool TSN branding and all of that really nice stuff. So I'd like to get that. I don't want to use that for Honest Wargamer stuff. It just seems like it seems weird. And then once all that's finished in a couple of weeks, I'm going to redo in here so it looks fancier, and then we can just have like the Honest Wargamer studio be a bit nice. And this has always been a bit haphazard because traditionally the guys were in the venue with me. So, you had those guys over there, those guys over there. And we actually did live podcasts, which was way better, and I much preferred that. But now that's not the case. So I'll set that up so it's slightly different, which is good. Warhammer smuggling could be a thing. You could also like unbox the miniatures so that like you could get more sprue in. Or, if you really, really wanted to like up your game, you could clip out all of the parts, stick them in a bag, just grab the instructions if you wanted to Warhammer smuggle effectively, and then you're just reducing weight significantly. You could just probably get, I don't even know how many tech lists you can get in like a small bag for, and I'm not suggesting, and I don't encourage, and never would I suggest, clipping out a bunch of Warhammer sprues, putting in some sort of bag, and smuggling it the way the cartels do. I would never suggest that, but I'm thinking about it. That's what I'd say. Clip sprue sent in a jiffy bag with no instructions. That's my jam. Wait, have you bought stuff from Forge World? Scrunny Hugh. Nikos, an eBay studio I used to paint for did this. They bought Games Workshop stuff and shipped it to Straya for cheaper than buying direct to Games Workshops. Wow. Those Lumineth dice are designed for this method. They weren't designed for that method. He's shelving sprues Rob's backup for the Honest Wargamer. It's not my backup. It's just the next plan, if that helps. Clip off thousands of bits, then try to find 38B from Kit 23. Flawless design. Anyway, so a bit nervous about tonight. I'm excited about the teams being on. There's like loads of problems, right? So we're remoting in the teams, which means their audio is going to be like medium at best, which is like terrible for like sports level like production. So you're just like, like that's a bit upsetting. What bans are going to happen? Nervous as heck about what bans are going to happen, and also we I don't know if you know, but in order to show them on the screen, big shout out to John Scrivens, we've had to get an image of every single unit in the game, every single one. And like last night I was like, oh John, you made sure you got all the Forge World ones, and he was like, oh my god, no. So I was like, that is a lot of unit images to go through, so we can show them on the screen, right? Okay, Man Skies F1 coverage had annoying busy noise through it yesterday. Oh, cheers, Scott B. I grew up in France, and my first reaction to those dice was Games Workshop branching into suppositories. Brave. Okay. Ban 1, ban Rob. Yeah. So what is Genesis Queeks? So Queeks Genesis is a Age of Sigmar tournament. It is a single elimination bracket tournament. So 2 teams are going to play this Saturday. Tonight, for the first time ever, what's going to happen is they are both going to ban 5 units per team. It works with Team A, which was done in a live draw, but only the teams have seen that. And the Bruces are Team A. So the Bruces are going to get the first ban. They are going to be the very first people to ban a unit. They're going to ban, who knows what they're going to ban. And then Team B, which is the Troll Slayers, they are going to ban 2. And then they alternate 2, 2, 2, with Team B eventually getting the final single ban. They've got 60 seconds per ban. So the first ban is 60 seconds. The second 2 bans they'll have 2 minutes to decide. So 2 minutes to decide. I know that might be a long time, but I wanted to be able to let them have a discussion and talk it through. I think that's fine. The whole ban phase in itself will take about 10 minutes. There'll be some pre-introduction in the A block. So there'll be like introduction to the teams, introduction to players, introduction to the whole format. So about 10 minutes should be it. But I think some people, we won't be like slaves to that. If, for instance, the first ban is just like straight in, buff, we'll just clip over and we'll start rocking it. But 120 seconds is their maximum, or 60 seconds per ban is the maximum, which is going to be interesting to make sure that it works. Which team has the cojones to use RNG to pick their bans? That's a great one. So what time of the ban? 6 p.m. today, 6 p.m. BST. 6 p.m. BST is, I'm going to put a post up on the socials in a minute once I've done this show. So 6 p.m. Thankfully, we've got like an hour prep beforehand, which is nerve-wracking again, just to make sure it's right. But what are the mechanics ban phase? Is it done over the phone? Is it live? Yes, it is live. Live 6 p.m. tsportsnetwork.com. Twitch.tv/the T-Sports Network. Again, I'll post that into the socials later. That is an AOS tournament. Yeah. And then the teams, once they've banned all their 10 units, on Thursday night, or Thursday afternoon, they have to put in all their lists. A list per member of the 4-man team has to be incorporated. And then on the Friday, we'll reveal the lists to the world. The teams will get them on the Thursday so they can talk amongst themselves. But on the Friday, we will reveal the lists. We'll reveal all of that. And then you'll be able to be like, cool, we know what's going on here. And that's it. It's as simple as that, I think. And it's all going to be live on Twitch. The list review show on Friday will be live on Twitch. The games this weekend will be live on Twitch. They'll play 3 rounds. 2 teams of 4 will play 3 rounds. So that'll be fun. And it's the best. And it's just whoever's got the highest score at the end. There's a score of 20-0. It's 16 for the major. And then there are 2 secondaries they have to take each. It's all in the pack. It's all explained. And we'll get more on that. I'm more excited than Wade on a reveal weekend, says MJ Picks. It's good. I'm glad. Also, Games Workshop have got a live... they've got a reveal show this weekend as well, which I'm very, very excited about. Because they're going to drag, 10, 15,000 people to their Twitch channel on launch day. And then hopefully that will just push them all. Then we should be, at that point, the highest Twitch channel on Twitch. In the Warhammer category. So hopefully when those people kind of like log off from Warhammer, they're like, oh, well, what other Warhammer can I watch? And then first day of the Super Series. So hopefully we can get ready. Yeah. Do I need to sub to TSN to watch? No, watching is always free. Watching is always free. You never have to watch. But there will be sub-only chat. I think I would like to make it nice, and people who want to contribute quality things can make that. Also, ultimately, it's cost us thousands and thousands of pounds. So sub is fine, I think. And I think if that's okay for everyone. And then all the games should be recorded and all the games are watchable back afterwards. Anyway, that's fun. That's fun. I'm excited about the match. I'm excited about this match. It's got 2 wild card teams. You can't have 2 more fun teams. If you want, I've got the rounds summed up for you. You've got the loose cannons. So stage 1 is made up of 4 matchups. You've got the loose cannon matchup, and then you've got the really prepared matchup. So super serious matchup. Then you've got the matchup for the teams most likely to be sponsored by Red Bull, in my opinion. And then the final matchup is the Boomers matchup. So that's those are the matchups today. Again, all the advertisement and artwork should go out about that later this week, so you guys know who's playing all through the Super Series. What if all I want to contribute is sarcastic trolling? That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. I mean, I think it's going to be really fun to see. Like, I'm just excited for the bands now. Like, you not? Like, it's nervous. I'm like, okay. Like, and I know that the teams have put way more thought into this than maybe I've put into it. So I'm just excited completely. That's all I got. But I'm nervous as well. Because what if it's shit? What if the internet breaks? What if it doesn't work? What if you all think I'm a dick? Is the key. And that's what you're listening to today. Me being worried and scared. That's it. And I'm probably going to go soon because I've got to go make sure it all works. Will Dockerell, if we sub to AOS Super Series, does that count for 40k when it starts? Yeah, it'll all start happening in the same place. So the 40k Super Series, which will launch next year, about February time, which will run concurrently with the Age of Sigmar Super Series next year. So next year, you'll effectively, in 6-month blocks, you'll end up with an Age of Sigmar and a 40k Super Series every 6 months. Well, basically what is going to come out of the TSN initially. That doesn't obviously include all of the live coverage, which, when we think it's responsible to go and do live coverage somewhere in the world again, we will. As simple as that. Like, at the minute, there are some places that it's better to do than others. Normally, we're wedged in a corner, and it all gets a bit much. At the venue, which I will post up some pictures of when it's, like, super finished, there are big screens in between all the players. The commentators are boxed off in a corner, so they're safe. The tech guys are boxed off in a corner, so it's safe. So generally, like, we've tried really hard to make it like really healthy and sensible. And there are really good communities all around the country who are doing something very similar as well. If you're thinking AOS Super Series 2 it'll be about February time, if that helps. I heard Beldefeed was doing a ring walk. No, we're most likely, if we were to have a ring girl, most likely at this stage it would be a builder in some like dusty plastered shorts. With a beard, probably saying something how they really enjoy an Irish screwdriver, which, as I've understood, is a hammer. But I didn't know. Like, I've learned loads of things this week. Nathan, is that Nathan or his OnlyFans? Oh, nice. Eventually. Look, we're still building the venue, like, being honest with absolutely everyone. Like, it's still, like, up in the air. In a month, we've gone from a completely abandoned room that's, like, been beaten up to having 4 tables, a commentary booth, a tech bit. So there's loads of stuff happening this week. Over the next few weeks, it should get better and better and better. And then by the time we come around, that's why it's called Genesis, right? It's the first one. That's why it wasn't really, like, open to the public, if you will, because it needs to be something that can be managed. It needs to be something where I can just say to the teams, like, dudes, this isn't working this week or something, and then be okay with it. And I think I've got a group of people who are exactly like that, which is super lucky. Next time it'll be more open, and we'll be more comfortable to put in unknown quantities into the setup and make it work. But right now, that's not the case. It's nerve-wracking, right? You guys have all worked on projects, I guess, that... Has anyone else worked on, like, major projects that they've thrown, like, their heart and soul into? It's got to be quite scary for you guys, as much as, like, I'm sure you guys have all done that. Like, having kids, fuck. Like, most of you guys have got kids. I would never, like, that terrifies me to the point I can't even begin to talk about, I think. Same as everything. Like, and some of it just starts as little as when people just go to an event for the first time, or the first time you went into the Warhammer store and you picked up your models, or the first time you, like, got a Twitter account and Dave Frazier just, like, mocked you. You know, there's loads of, like, benchmarks for where you push yourself, and some people don't ever have to go very far down that road, but it's nerve-wracking, like, putting yourself out there, which is what I'm trying to express to you guys. I'm nervous about putting myself out there. Is all it is. A bit like when you build an army, take it to a tournament, you're like, actually, is this army rubbish, or is it good? Getting 32 players all on board for launch is a great achievement already. Thanks, MJ. You can start playing 40k. Say it ain't so. Tomagins, I'm becoming a father in November. Scared shitless. Honestly, I think you'll do great. It's good to be nervous, though. It means you care. Being nervous means you care, I think. Buying a house felt like a major project, says Jog PLC. Solicitors are the worst. For all the solicitors listening, I'm sure you aren't the worst, but I think that it's complicated and confusing. I would agree with that. Absolutely. That would be... I can't be a solicitor or own a house because I like avocado too much is where I'm at. Do you know who your biggest audience was when... I don't remember, to be honest, Dave. Dave, I think the biggest audience we ever had was when we got about 10,000 people watching Adepticon because they paid to be on the front page. I don't think we're going to hit that first time, nor do I want to. I'd rather everyone just keep it quiet, to be honest. Can it just be you guys for this week? Later on, can we just... Can we advertise it more later? Not now. Keep it quiet between us. I felt the same, but working with children changed me. It says, Colonel Cabbage, trying to do some work with kids. If you ever had time, once you have worked with children, you will know for sure whether you want your own or not. No one who works with them is on the fence about it. That's a good point. I had not thought about that. Right, okay. I'm not talking about Warhammer, so I'm going to go because it's just useless. And so I'm going to go for now. Can you go over the rules for banning Queekster? I can, really quickly. But you, of course, can read it on the tsportsnetwork.com if you just like to take the time. But obviously you're a Warhammer player, so you're never going to read the pack. Okay, so this is the way it works. Each team can ban 5 units from Age of Sigmar. You can't ban battalions, and you can't ban endless spells. You also can't ban battle line, but you can ban battle line if. Okay, really simple. Really simple. Once you've banned a unit from a book, and there are some unique examples, but when you ban a unit from a book, you can no longer ban another unit from that book. So, to give you an example, which is pretty easy, we will pick, which is an easy example, Lumineth Realm Lords, because we're all talking about those right now. If I ban Sentinels, for instance, which I can ban, then you can no longer ban anything else from... Sentinels. You can no longer ban anything from Lumineth Realm Lords. They're safe. At the end of the ban phase, there'll be 10 bans in effect. Some hot ones: Archeon, Be'lakor, Nagash, things I'm expecting to see. But there's obviously things like Skink Star Priests, little like unknown little fellas that you might not. You might see a Lotan ban, or you might see a Morsar Guard ban. Meaning Eels might be there. Croak, definitely, could be one. Hoping for Eels every time is the one. There's loads. We're all excited to see. All right, guys, can't wait for the ban show later, says Lee Bromley. Good. How's that work for Cities of Sigmar? Great question, because I already answered that. Stormcast Eternals are allies, effectively, not quite. So if you ban, let's say, the Celestial Prime, you can no longer ban anything from Stormcast Eternals, but you can ban something still from Cities of Sigmar. It's from the home book, not from... Because in the case of Cities of Sigmar, the home book for the Celestial Prime is Stormcast book, not the Cities of Sigmar book. But if I banned Drakespawn Knights, for example, I don't know if they're Battleline, I don't think they are. But if I ban them, then, for example, I wouldn't be able to ban anything else from Cities of Sigmar, but I still could ban something from Stormcast Eternals. Right? Really easy. Dan Cold Trog Boss, definitely a ban. Agreed. And then there's some really interesting ones like Nagash. Nagash features in the OCR Bone Reapers book, but isn't available, but is also available in Legions and Nagash. I've made it the decision that Legions and Nagash is the home book for Nagash as well. So in that particular situation, there's that ban. It's really easy. Ban the Tree Lords, the OP bastards. I would love it. If the first ban, because it is the Bruces doing the first ban. So I expect Darren and the Bruces to just make a mockery of the situation. I expect them to do something like ban Alarielle or something wild, which would be fun. Everyone knows the proper name for eels you ban is fighty eels. Yeah. Morsar Guard. Yes, meatballs. Yeah, so are they Shelian Guard or Morsar Guard? Poor Scrivo. Gonna ask Gilboy to ban them now. Imagine if someone plays Sylvaneth and you ban Colonel Hunters, like you're not even getting that, mate. Oh, it's going to be fun. I can't wait to hang out with you guys and find out what is going to happen. If it turns into a shit show, I'm sorry now. But if it doesn't, join me later tonight at 7 p.m. on The Honest Wargamer, where I'll be talking to Nathan, James, and Dan. And we will just be shooting the shit. Probably we'll be talking about some of those bands and what we think about it. Like, it'll be the first deep dive or review we've ever done of it. If it doesn't work, then expect to find me in a puddle on the floor. But we've got next week, other bands happening next week, and the week after, and the week after. That's the exciting thing. It's consistent. You get to be a part of it every week. It gets to become a big thing, which is fun. All the best. All the best. Yeah, okay. Never banned whilst I'm about. Good. Right, look after yourselves. I'll see you later. Band show going on YouTube. It will, Dave Fraser. The band show will go onto the T-Sports, the TSN. It'll go into the TSN YouTube is where it'll go. So yeah, 6 p.m. T-Sports Network tonight is where it'll be. I'm going to put all the socials up in a minute, if that helps out. Look after yourselves. Thanks for being great. Thanks for joining me on this journey. Hopefully I can just start talking about Warhammer from this point onwards, and we can all just get into it. Yeah, big love. Look after yourselves. I'll see you soon.